Okay, so have you ever looked at your watch and wondered, like, where did we get this whole hours and minutes thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty ingrained in how we think about time.
Totally. Turns out we can thank the ancient Sumerians for that little bit of timekeeping magic. But that's not all they gave us.
No, no, not even close.
Nope. Today we're diving deep into the world of ancient Sumer, one of the first great civilizations. We're talking pyramids before Egypt, writing before Rome, the whole shebang.
Impressive, right?
Crazy impressive.
Mhm.
But here's the thing. We're also tackling a total mystery surrounding these, well, you could call them deities, these really powerful beings.
The Anunnaki.
The Anunnaki, yeah. So
Yeah.
we've got excerpts from this article, dives deep into Sumerian culture, and yeah, it doesn't shy away from the Anunnaki controversy.
Which is a big one.
Huge. Were they just mythical figures, like part of some ancient stories? Or could there be something more to the story? That's what we're here to find out. So first things first, got to set the scene. We're talking 5,000 plus years ago, Mesopotamia. Think fertile land between two rivers, the Tigris and Euphrates. Not a bad spot to set up shop, right?
Prime real estate. And that's where the Sumerians flourished. But here's the thing, it wasn't one big empire. We're talking about a whole bunch of city-states. Each one had its own ruler, its own patron god, its own kind of vibe.
So like a network of mini kingdoms all jostling for power and resources. Sounds a little familiar.
It's like Game of Thrones Mesopotamian style. And these city-states, they were hubs of innovation. They weren't just sitting around admiring the scenery.
No way. What were some of the things they were known for?
Well, take their military, for instance. They developed some pretty advanced strategies for the time. They were using chariots and formations and all sorts of stuff that, gave them an edge in battles. But hold on, it gets even more interesting when you look at their mathematical system.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about the math.
So instead of being based on 10 like ours, their system was based on 60. And guess what? That's where we get our 60 seconds in a minute and 60 minutes in an hour. It's like a direct line from ancient Sumer to our modern world.
Whoa, that's mind-blowing. It's like they set the stage for how we measure time even today. But wait, you mentioned writing too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they weren't just warriors and mathematicians, they were storytellers too.
Big-time storytellers, they developed one of the earliest known forms of writing, cuneiform. And thanks to that, we have these incredible first-hand accounts, like the Epic Tale of Gilgamesh, which, by the way, even features the Anunnaki.
Okay, so these Anunnaki are definitely weaving their way into a lot of Sumerian culture. Were they kind of like the Greek gods,
Mm-hmm.
full of drama and interfering in human affairs?
Spot on. The Anunnaki were the A-listers of the Sumerian pantheon, their collection of gods. They were seen as these incredibly powerful beings who had a hand in everything from the movements of the stars to the fate of humanity.
So basically, they were calling the shots. But how did the Sumerians imagine these Anunnaki? Did they have like specific appearances, personalities, the whole nine yards?
Absolutely. Their creation myth describes the Anunnaki as the offspring of the sky god Ban and the earth goddess Ki. They were often depicted as humanoid, but larger than life, adorned with these elaborate headdresses and flowing robes, symbols of their authority and power.
So pretty majestic looking. And I guess it makes sense that they were thought to influence human affairs, right? Like when you see floods or droughts or wars, it's easy to imagine some higher power pulling the strings.
That's a pattern you see across a lot of ancient cultures, trying to make sense of the world around them, maybe explaining the unexplainable through these powerful beings. But with the Anunnaki, things get a little more complicated. Because now we're about to step outside the realm of traditional mythology and into, well, let's just say more controversial territory.
Ooh, things are getting interesting. We're going rogue.
A little bit. See, there are these alternative theories out there that suggest the Anunnaki weren't gods at all, but something else entirely.
Okay, lay it on me. What's the alternative take?
Some theorists propose that the Anunnaki were actually extraterrestrial beings who visited Earth in ancient times. They even tie this theory to the idea of Planet X, a hypothetical planet that some astronomers believe might exist in our solar system, although it hasn't been officially discovered yet.
Oh, wait a minute. So we're talking ancient astronauts, like they flew in, assumed the role of gods, and basically kickstarted civilization. That sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie.
It does, doesn't it? But here's the thing, and I can't stress this enough. These theories aren't widely accepted by mainstream historians or scientists. They're considered fringe beliefs, but they're definitely out there and they have a dedicated following.
Okay, so let's say for a minute, just for fun, that we entertain this ancient astronaut theory. What was the supposed purpose of these Anunnaki coming to Earth? What were they after?
Well, according to some of these theories, they were here for a very specific reason, to mine gold. The idea is that they needed gold for some purpose back on their home planet, and they put the Sumerians to work extracting it for them.
So not exactly the benevolent gods the Sumerians might have believed them to be. Sounds a little more like a cosmic resource grab.
Yeah.
And I think I know where this is going. Isn't there a whole other layer to this Anunnaki theory that involves, well, reptilian humanoids?
You got it. That's another branch of the Anunnaki tree, although definitely one of the more out there branches. The theory goes that these Anunnaki weren't just extraterrestrials, but specifically reptilian beings. And not only did they guide the Sumerians, but they're still among us today, pulling the strings from behind the scenes.
Whoa, we've gone full conspiracy theory here. It's fascinating how these ideas take root and spread, even without concrete evidence.
It speaks to this human desire for answers, for explanations, for a sense of control, maybe. When faced with the unknown, we tend to fill in the blanks with our own interpretations. But it's important to remember that not all interpretations are created equal.
Right, got to keep that critical thinking cap on. So as much fun as it is to dive into these alternative theories, it's time to step back and acknowledge that they're just that, theories. There's no solid scientific evidence backing them up, and they're not part of the accepted historical narrative.
Exactly. The beauty of history and archaeology is that they're ongoing investigations. We're constantly uncovering new evidence, refining our understanding of the past, and who knows, maybe someday we'll find something that completely changes our perspective on the Anunnaki.
Until then, it's a captivating mystery, a story that makes you think about our place in the universe, the power of belief, and the enduring allure of the unknown.
For sure. I mean, regardless of whether you believe in the ancient astronaut theory or not, the Sumerian civilization was remarkably advanced for its time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And what's so cool is that we can still see their influence today. Yeah. Like we're literally using their system for measuring time.
I know. And just imagine if you're intrigued by the Anunnaki story, digging into their legal codes, how they structure their society, that stuff's incredible. Super advanced for their time.
Definitely food for thought. So for all you listeners out there, whether you're history buffs, mythology enthusiasts, or just curious about the ancient world, keep exploring. There's a whole universe of fascinating stuff out there waiting to be discovered.
Keep that curiosity alive.
Absolutely. And until next time, happy digging.